Alright, two mostly bald guys here. I am going to show you by myself, because Blake is at work, how to do a 2015 Chevy Diesel Cruze fuel filter change. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. You're only going to need a couple of tools, which I'll show you here in a minute, and that's about it. And then I'll give you prices and everything like that on Amazon versus the dealership for price. Alright, so tools for this job is a 36 millimeter socket. If you don't have one, you can go to anywhere, hardware, any parts store, and pick one up. And then that is for the fuel filter, and then for all the little nuts and bolts on the bottom is just a 10 millimeter. That's all it is. It's just a 10 millimeter. And as you know, I do use my pass-through set for everything as much as I possibly can. So there will be links in the description to a 36 millimeter socket. And I will try find the cheapest one I can find on Amazon, because it's not something most people use every day. And then I will try to put the pass-through set back up on Amazon again too. That I will be putting this new fuel filter on. From what I understand is the fuel filters on the Chevy Diesel Cruze will go around 45,000 miles before change, unlike my Duramax where you're going to change it around every 12,000 miles. But you can order this kit, and I'll put a link on Amazon. This is the same kit they sell at all the dealerships. On Amazon, I'll have a link. It's $75 for the kit, and it comes with obviously your fuel filter, some new O-ring gaskets, and then you can see that there's a preloaded one here and one here. And then I haven't taken the cover off yet. I think Czech Republic. But then get your car out, put it up on some kind of jack stands, block the front tires off a little bit, and then your fuel filter is on the passenger side, close here at the very back of the car. Okay, now this is kind of hard to show you, but you're gonna have these 10 millimeter plastic nuts that go all along this whole body pan, and you're gonna take them off. And there's some over here too, if I could find it. There it is. There's I believe there's 4 and 4, so 8 total. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna take these bolts out, and then I will show you the next part. Alright, so with the skid plate being off, you're going to have 8 of these plastic white nuts and 1 actual metal nut. And this thing is long-winded, but let me pull this out and show you where everything's at. So once you get it down, you come back here to the back tire, the back passenger door, and this is your fuel filter right here. Okay, so when you get it open, when you get it cracked open, obviously you want to keep a drip pan underneath it. You don't want to be spilling this all over the ground. It is a 36 millimeter socket to get onto the bottom of that. And if it's anything like my truck, there's quite a bit of fluid up in there that will drip down into this little pan. And then if you have a clean pan, and you want to, you can go ahead and reuse this. I have with my truck, but it is recommended that you go to a fueling station and go ahead and get yourself like a gallon, you know, and then that way you can kind of put it back together, so that way it takes a little less time to prime it. On my truck, I always just pull the fuel filter down and literally just pour it into a Gatorade bottle that I've cut open, and then pour it in, and then put the sensor back on the bottom of mine. And I will have to do a video of that for you guys too, but it looks like it's getting ready to stop dripping, and I can finally pull it the rest of the way apart and show you everything. Alright, so when you get the old fuel filter out, the old nasty thing. Now this car only had 36,000 miles on it, and from what I've seen on forums and pages is that that fuel filter is good up to 45,000 miles. But like anything else, you should replace these gaskets. Now this is the old one, so take and we'll work it off these two rings, which won't be hard, and then we're going to take this new one and put it on here, and then this little guy right there, what we're going to do is that little guy comes over here, okay? It goes right here in the on that tab. So kind of clean it off, and then I'll pull that ring off, and I'll put the new ring gaskets on, and I will start putting it back together. Alright, something else I should show you is that the factory one have these tabs on here, and they do not have the tabs on here anymore. It's just flat, and I'm assuming that they got rid of the tabs because people were taking their cars into the dealerships, and being that they are in a hurry at a lot of dealerships, and I'm not bad-mouthing the dealerships, because those guys they went to school and they do work very hard at what they do, and I'm assuming because they're on a time crunch that they're just pushing it down in there, and they're breaking these tabs off. And then if you got this tab and it breaks off and it comes into here and it clogs this area up, well, now you've just lost a huge chunk of fuel flow for your car. So now it's just this piece, and there's these aren't like click tabs really. They're just kind of thick, heavy tabs down in here, and this just fits down in here like this, and it just seats in just like that. Okay, and then once you got that in there, and you get I still got to put this O-ring on. Once you put that O-ring on, and this is in here, and then I've got the new O-ring here, it'll be time to put it up in place. Alright, so I'm in the car. These are my hands, and this is the customer's hand. Actually, I work with this guy. To prime it, you just turn it all the way to ignition like you're going to start the car, but do not turn or crank the motor over. Wait a few seconds. You can hear the fuel pump kind of whoa, and then shut it back down, and then repeat this 3 times. So 2. Okay, off. Hold on. Let's see if I can hear the fuel for you. Do it one more time. Alright, now that's 3 times. Here, now. Alright, try to start it. Look at there. Alright, so I wasn't counting, but that gets it started. Now, for the computer part, are you on your fuel filter section? Battery diesel. Alright, so once you get to your remaining fuel filter life, over here on your control you have your select, clear, and then obviously you go through your menu. So press and hold the select clear button. Are you sure you want to reset this? Yes. There you go. Now you are done. You are ready. You have a new fuel filter in your vehicle. And then something else that I should remind everybody, because I have to remind myself, is after it's started, come back down here and look for drips. Now obviously when it gushed out when I first started it, it got that all over everything, but That's okay, I will wipe that off, but there's no drips around any of the seals. Okay, something I should add is when you do these plastic nuts, do not use power tools. Put them on or take them off. All right, because you really don't want to go to the dealership and get these parts, because they're probably some ridiculous $1.50 to $3 price for one. And so just hand tighten all of them first, and then go around with your ratchet and just snug them all up. Alright, everything's back together, and I forgot to tell you the price of the fuel filter through the dealership, because I did call 2 or 3 of the parts stores, and they told me the same thing. It's a dealer item only. And anyways, on Amazon, like I said, it was $74.95 for the fuel filter, and then at the dealership the fuel filter was $121 plus tax. So obviously on Amazon you're going to save a little bit of money, and you see that the car ran just fine. That's the cost. Now if you become muscle man or he woman and you break the whole plastic housing, that is a dealership item only too, and that is around $250. Now, in my personal opinion, this Chevy Cruze diesel is a damn good bargain. He's telling me that on a 14-gallon gas tank, he's getting, with a clean fuel filter, no additives of any kind, the car the way it is, 100% stock, he's averaging somewhere in between 650 and 700 miles per tank before he needs to fill up, which is fantastic. And the fuel filter is lasting, we changed his at 36,000 miles because he lives on a gravel road, but like I said, a lot of other people have reported all the way up to 45,000 miles, versus where, like I said, my diesel truck, you're going to replace the fuel filter around every 12,000 miles. Even though my fuel filter is only like $12 through everybody, his is still a dealership item only, specialty stuff. Alright, so one more thing to add to the video on this diesel Chevy Cruze, because it does have to meet new emission standards. This is where your DEF tank is, and he's been using the Peak Blue DEF. This is probably his second or third thing. It comes with this little nozzle in this box, but he told me that it spills real bad, so he picked up one of these from, I think, Menards. But real simple, you know, just check your levels. It's pretty much like windshield washer fluid. Just put it in when it says it. Okay, so that is it on how to do a fuel filter change on a 2015 diesel Chevy Cruze. Alright, so as usual, thank you guys. I wish Blake could be here to help, but we're not always on the same schedule. So as always, like, comment, subscribe. Blake or myself will try to get to questions and comments. So, thank you. Have a good day, everybody.